every religion. It's like I'm not about to join no gang. I'm not about to join no religion. I'm not about to join shit without seeing what I'm getting myself into. I'm not just going to go blind into this shit. So most of the shit I started studying, this what really caused my awakening. And the only shit that actually was showing me truth was spirituality. Once I started tapping into like the Egyptian mysteries and basically started, learning like nigga, this shit is about you. This shit ain't about no gods in the sky or no fucking nectars that you thinking is these spirits and all. No, this shit is about you. And if you allow yourself to be a channel to this energy, you're gonna experience this. And I started, all right, I'm gonna try it. And guess what? If that shit wouldn't have worked, I would have booted that shit to the side. But I actually started trying first. I learned I built the altar. You know what I mean? Because somebody taught me that like an altar is, it's really because we don't know how to tap into our energy from within. So you could build it outside of you and tap. It's like creating a Wi-Fi box. You get what I'm saying? We the fucking most advanced technology, but we got our Wi-Fi cut off. We running on old programs. We ain't never update our phone type shit. You get what I'm saying? So when I first used the altar, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see if it work. If it don't work, it ain't nothing but a table and some rocks and some shit anyway. I'm gonna throw that shit out. Fuck you talk about. But when I tried it, and it's a deity basically. It really it represents divine um intellect. It represents divine knowledge. It's just a channel to knowledge. And the deity name is Tahuti, which they call Thoth, which they call Hermes in Greek. All of that is talking about the same energy. It's not an actual person, but it was a person that energy was expressing through in the ancient times. But when a person dies, the energy that was channeling through him don't die. Energy don't die. Science says this shit. So you're not actually calling on a dead person that fucking died. You're calling on the living energy that person left behind as a template. You get what I'm saying? So I started calling on this energy, and man, I started getting download after download after fucking download. And I'm gonna be honest, the people that was in my class, they know. They say point out the smart people. I wasn't getting pointed out. Fuck you talk about at all. Like, so I never was. Oh, I'm intellectual. I'm smart. Like, nah. I'm knowledgeable though. I know how to get some money. I know how to stay out the way. I know how to, I know how to use my motherfucking mind. I know how to survive. I always been that. But when it comes to like, oh, you super smart, I ain't never been no smart nigga. You know what I mean? So now I'm getting these downloads and I'm being able to retain this information. I'm like, fuck. Now I'm kind of like sounding like a smart nigga for real. Like, how the fuck I get smart? Like, I didn't even think I had that ability. I thought that shit had to be in your genetics. Like, this nigga might have had a smart mother or something. Like, because my mind didn't retain that energy, the information in school, that dogma. Because that shit was all bullshit anyway. And I'm thinking because of my mind wasn't retaining that shit that I was a little slow. Like, man, that shit ain't for me. Fuck that shit. I learned enough to pass. Fuck you talk about. But now that I'm working with this altar, I got downloads coming in shit. I could break some shit down to you in this way and that way and then and I'm talking about it was shit that not only it was just like I could break it down to you in words, but I could show it to you in symbolism, in circles with numbers, and it was like shit that was mind-boggling. But at the time, I'm literally still gangbanging at the time. So imagine, this like 2016, 2017. Imagine me going to my homies and shit and niggas I know. And I'm like, yo, check this shit out, yo. And I'm trying to break shit down to them about the conscious mind and how this, and the niggas looking like, yo, motherfuckers in the hood was start saying, man, my blood went crazy. Cause that was what niggas used to call me. Like, man, I went crazy. Man, this motherfucker was talking some shit, talking about some motherfucking numbers and some shit, and that drawing circles and man, I don't know what the fuck that nigga was talking about. And they laughing, having conversations like this in the hood behind my fucking back. But you always gonna have people that fuck with me that's gonna come tell me like, yo, niggas was. Yeah, niggas think you went crazy, but I don't know. I don't believe that. Like the shit you say do make sense to me. You always gonna have one of them niggas that's gonna come back. And I'm like, damn. As clear as I made that shit when I was breaking it down, because to me, it was clear as fuck. Like I'm talking to y'all right now. And I'm like, damn, niggas took that as I went crazy. I'm like, yo, that's wild. And then mother like, yeah, man, I was doing this in 2017. You know what I mean? Mother like, this motherfucker got rocks on his neck. You know what I'm saying? They used to me having gold chains and watches and shit like that. Now they seeing shit like this and they got rocks on his neck and shit. Man, I seen this motherfucker on Instagram. This nigga was in the grass with his shoes off and shit. Motherfucker like acting like he a monk. Like that nigga, I was meditating and grounding myself. You know, shit they don't understand. So it's like to them, I lost my fucking mind. You know what I mean? So that shit kind of had me like not wanting to share the information. Like man, these niggas don't get it. And then I started to question myself a little bit. Like, yo, did I lose my mind? Am I making this shit up? Like, what the fuck? Because a download is like 1 minute you don't know it. You know what I mean? I go to the altar, I ask certain questions, da da. Next thing you know, I just know it. And it came to me in my voice. So I'm like, nah, I started to think maybe I made this shit up. And I wound up getting tested to the max. You know how life tests you when you change and it's gonna say, nigga, is you really changed or not? And so it was one person that was over me under my set. Well, not my set. Under the set I was under. So it was like this the big homie and then me. The big homie called like, yo, bro, I just moved to PA. The hood yours. I'm like, well, I don't want no motherfucking hood. Mouth like, oh, you know, like hell nah. Cause I already saw everybody else that got that position either went to prison for life or die. You think I'm about to sign up for that position, nigga? Nah, I'd rather stay the second nigga in the shadows that run shit. So once the hood got dropped on me, I'm trying to drop that shit on somebody else, but it was nobody home that was worthy. And it was one of my mans that was about to come home in a few months. So I basically was like, yo, telling everybody, like, yo, when bruh come home, he got the hood. When bruh come home, he got the hood. But while I was still, before he come home, it was like the hood left on me. Niggas start beefing. I got shot. And when I got shot, like, I was in my car. I was the only one in my car. And my car got shot 13 times and I got shot 3 times. So yeah, I don't think they was trying to kill my car. You get what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody else in the motherfucker. So that was it took me like, but remind you, I'm woke when this happened. So it's like, do I go backwards to, I'm back gang banging, trying to rob guns, trying to kill people type, or do I, let that shit go, move, do something, some code on the streets would say some bitch nigga shit. And a part of me was like, yo, these niggas don't know better. Like I really didn't want to kill nobody or hurt nobody. But then this is the thought that made me go backwards. I started to think about, damn man, these niggas tried to have my mother at my funeral. You could hurt me, but don't hurt my mama. You know what I mean? I start having them type of thoughts. I was like, nah, these niggas gotta go. I start making up ways to make it positive. Like me killing them is getting evil people off the streets type shit. Like nigga, get the fuck out of here. So long story short, that led me into prison, trying to kill the people that tried to kill me. And prison for me was more of like I needed it. I ain't even gonna lie. That was mystery schools for me. So now I'm in prison. I'm going in conscious. So I'm reading every fucking book you could fucking give my way that got to do with spirituality, consciousness, religion. I studied the Bible inside and out. I studied the Quran inside and out. I studied the Torah. I studied the Mabagara. I studied the fucking Indian book, the Chinese. I studied every fucking religion with an open mind to understand. And I started to see the truth in the lies. You know what I mean? So that really like, and then this was the biggest part for me. It was certain books that I would read. Like, let's say I read this spiritual book, let's say The Secret. Then the lady that wrote The Secret would say she got inspired by this guy that wrote um What the fuck was that book that inspired her? It was like two books she mentioned that inspired her. Now I'm calling home. Yo, give me this book and that book. And then I read them books and they tell me they expired by this person. Now I'm look up books under this name. Now, man, it was to the point now the books I'm getting going so far back where it's like these shits was written in motherfucking 1800s type shit. Old ass books. And some of them old ass books cost bread. My brother on the phone like, bro, that book's $70. I'm like, man, get that shit. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Now I'm reading, and this the part that like that hit me. I started reading books, and the shit that I got in downloads started showing up in these motherfucking books. That was the I'm grabbing my paper, you know what I mean? Or the shit I scribbled and all that. I'm looking, this shit is in a fucking book. And I ain't even get this shit out of book. That's when I was like, oh nah, I'm on to something. Like, nigga, that shit I was tapping into is real. Cause how the fuck it wound up in this book? And then the part that blew my mind the most was the book missing shit. Like, I'm like, damn, I wish I could talk to this fucking author. Like, he missing this and this. Like, I know more than you. And the author studied this. You get what I'm saying? But I ain't get it from studying. I got it from me. And I was started asking questions about download, and I started cultivating my channel. That's why I could channel now. I could connect to my higher self. I could ask any question and I get answers directly. My Wi-Fi is on, my internet is motherfucking on. And that's why I got a direct connection to my higher self. So I started asking questions like, yo, um, how the fuck did I know this information that's in this book better than the motherfucker that wrote the book? And my higher self would tell me, like, yo, you got the information from your DNA. You got it from your DNA. Your ancestors actually is the people he studied. And our DNA is the thing get passed on. And then they have sex and then they pass the DNA on. And then my great grandmother had my grandmother, then my grandmother had my mother, then my mother had me. I'm that DNA. And basically what it kind of showed me was that the scientists will call this shit junk DNA. Oh, it's you got 5% of your DNA is active, but 90% is junk DNA. I had to lean all the way back, like, huh? Junk. I ain't seeing no religious book, no spiritual system, nothing where they was like, God was like, yo, I don't know what to put in this nigga. Just make the rest of that shit junk. The fuck? That shit never happened in the time of times, the time being time. So that's just the lie to tell you that you got junk DNA when it's actually unactivated DNA. It's unactivated. It's ancient DNA. And then I started to understand, like, oh shit. When I stopped eating all of them heavy ass foods, when I started eating food that had life in it, it started unlocking my DNA. That's what the fuck happened. My DNA started unlocking, and when my DNA started unlocking, the junk was released. And this would allow me to start having downloads. And you got to understand something about the subconscious. Everything you go through, your subconscious records it. Your brain don't. Imagine everything you seen, your brain recorded it. You'll run out of fucking mental space, and you'll be holding so much garbage that don't even like. Why would you hold on to that? That ain't even worth holding on to. So our mind, our brain, it really only holds on to what relates to you. Everything else, it let the fuck go. But your subconscious holds on to everything. It's basically Tahuti. It's the recorder. So that's why when I was tapping into Tahuti, I was actually tapping into what my DNA recorded for centuries. That's what the fuck I was tapping into. And this is something I can even show through hypnosis. Like, I hypnotized somebody before, and before I hypnotized them, I asked them, like, yo, when you went outside today, what was the first car you saw And how did the person look that was in the car? The person will look at me like, fuck, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to no fucking car when I came outside. Like, and naturally you won't know. Nobody will fucking know. Because that's some senseless information that don't got nothing to do with you. Like it can't help you. So your brain not about to remember that. And you gotta understand your brain don't even remember people that you fucking been around. Like my brain forgot motherfuckers I was in the cell with. Nigga walking up to me, I was good. I'm looking like, fuck I know you from? Like you don't remember 2B3? We was locked up in the county and you was my bunkie. I'm like, nigga, you look familiar. That's it. Our brain, anybody that don't matter, we delete backspace, fuck out of it. You don't exist. But in under hypnosis, I could hypnotize you, put you into a trance state, and I ask you that same question. What was the first car you saw when you walked out the house, and how did the person look that was in the car? You would be like, holy shit, it was a fucking red Ford Taurus. It was a fat guy. Da, da, the license plates was numbered. Da, 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 da. The car had leather seats and your fucking subconscious record every fucking thing that it experienced. So you got to understand that that's the information that we got access to when you connect to your subconscious. But when you disconnect it and you're just depending on this local brain, this finite, limited, weak ass, 5% power ass mind, of course you don't remember shit. Science literally says that. We use 5% of our thinking brain. So what the fuck else we using? 95% of subconscious and unconscious. Meaning 95% of your ass is in a program or you're in a cycle. You reacting, you're not responding. And reaction only could come from some past shit. Everything that's stored in your subconscious is of the past. It's related to shit that already happened. So you basing your now off of what already happened? And this is why our life seem like we stuck in a fucking loop. Like you just keep repeating the past. Because you are. You are, unless you get out of that motherfucking, unless you get out of that unconscious program and you pull yourself to the conscious moment and you direct from there. But then you got to understand, like I explained, that automatically your body is going to reject anything new. You telling yourself, oh, Monday, I'm going to start working out. If you ain't a person that been working out, Monday going to come and your body going to be like, bitch, you don't get the fuck out of here with this shit you trying to do. Or you'll probably get in a couple days and then your body will be like, look, we tried it. Like, that's it, bro. Your body is built to keep you the same. And this is why it's so hard for people to change. You got to understand that your body not going to help you. And this is why it's mind over matter. You gotta overthrow that body. Like, nigga, I know you don't want to do push-ups today, but it ain't about you. I'm doing it anyway. And if you fight past the resistance, then you create a new cycle. Now your body like, oh, we've been doing this for, oh, all right, this what we doing. And then another thing you got to understand is that your brain don't speak the same language as your body at all. And not only do they don't speak the same language, one of the motherfuckers speak Spanish and the other motherfuckers speak English. Like they can't even understand each other, even if you try. Our brain, it only it only speaks in words and symbols, images. Your body only speaks in feeling. That's it. It's the only language it knows. So you're trying to think in your mind, I am abundant, but your body feel lack. The motherfuckers ain't on the same page. So that's why you need your heart, because it's in the middle, Your mind is here in the third eye, in the third eye chakra. That's where your mind is at. That's where consciousness lives. But unconsciousness lives down here in the unconscious. So look what's in the middle. Your heart. And guess what the heart could do? It could speak all fucking languages. I know you had intuition before. You know what that is, right? When your stomach told you something. So that motherfucker know how to talk. Just like your brain know how to talk. You know what I mean? And I know that your heart creates vibration, frequency, and patterns. So that means it can talk to your body. Because your body talks in feeling. And the emotion turns into a feeling. The emotion and the feeling ain't the same thing. The emotion is in the heart. The emotion is eternal. The feeling not. The feeling is when this eternal thing took a form into your body. It went from a wave to a particle. And that's why most people, when they say the subconscious, they mention the solar plexus. Because the heart talked through the solar plexus. Or it could talk through the throat chakra, the two motherfuckers on the side of it. It could talk through your solar plexus. That's when you get gut feelings, when you get intuition. And when you get gut feelings and intuition, that bitch never wrong. It's never wrong because it's coming directly from source. You get what I'm saying? But if you talk with your words, yeah, that motherfucker could be wrong. Because most of the time, this could come from them, from him. But when it comes from source, it's never wrong. You get what I'm saying? So the heart is the thing that you need to connect to. It's the trance. It transfers mind into matter, the word into flesh. You get what I'm saying? And you got to understand though that what you put your attention on, as I said, wherever your energy, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. This shit is a real fucking thing. You know what I mean? You paying attention to something, you're feeding your energy to it. And this is why little kids always, look at me. Hey, daddy. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Everybody wants your motherfucking attention. Your wife, she walking by, females dressing nice and putting this on and in the mirror. Why? Because they want somebody to look at their motherfucking ass. Same reason why you in the motherfucker shaping up your shit. Because you want somebody to look at your ass. You want some motherfucking attention. And on the surface, we're all, I don't give a fuck about no attention. Well, go outside looking like shit then. You want some fucking attention. You just, everybody want it because that's energy. The more people that's looking at you, the more energy coming to you. And you could notice, you could be outside and you could be like, damn, I feel like somebody looking at me. Like, how do you feel somebody looking at you? Mother, how you feel somebody looking at you? And then you look up into the window, you see a motherfucker peek back, like, oh shit. How you feel that? Because their consciousness is an energy, and you have an aura field around you, which is a magnetic field that we all have, and it penetrated your fucking aura. You could feel when your aura is being penetrated. Somebody think they peeking because they're in the fucking window, and it could be, I'm talking about a skyscraper. Motherfucker be on the 20th floor peeking at your ass. You will feel that shit and look up and see that motherfucker. Distance don't matter. Long as they penetrate your aura field, you will feel that shit. Cause that's a real fucking energy that you feeling. You know what I mean? So understanding that that's a real energy, that's why when it comes to hypnosis, it's really two ingredients. Focusing the mind and relaxing the body. Because focus, it's almost like a laser. If you just got energy scattered all around, that shit can't do shit. Shit weaker than a bitch. But if you concentrate it, a laser could cut metal. Concentrated light is power. But we don't concentrate. We be on TikTok like this. And then when we get off TikTok, we go on Instagram. And then we get off Instagram, we go to Facebook. Now motherfuckers be even strolling on YouTube. And all that's doing is just practicing your mind to not focus. Because you focused on this, then you focused on that, then you focused on this, then you focused on that. And then you wonder when you're trying to meditate why it's so hard to focus because you practice not focusing every fucking day. And that's why they create so much shit to grab our focus. And if I could grab your focus and put it in the wrong direction, you ain't got. I'm literally directing your power outside of you. And you sitting here worrying about my team going to the Super Bowl. You ain't even on the fucking team, nigga. You ain't make the roster. And then understanding how our emotions control our life. You get what I'm saying? We watching football and talking about my team. Yo, go, go. You yelling at a TV. You're hypnotized. There's no way you think them niggas in that TV hear you. So the fact that you jumping up and yelling, go, 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 you got to be out your rabbit ass mind. And a lot of us, we be out our rabbit ass mind because you're in a trance state. It's real to you. It's fourth and inches. Your team going for the shit before they fucking the play start. You and your house heart beating like they about to pass your ass the ball. Like the fuck. And that's because you're in a trance state. You're focused on the TV and most likely you're relaxed. And then even if you're not relaxed, that shit already got a trance on you because you already made it a part of your identity. That's my team. So far as your body know, nigga, you playing. That's why it reacts like that. So now the 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 TV got all of these emotional up and down reactions in you. And even though that shit is fake, I really believe that shit is scripted. So even though that shit fake, guess what's really real though? Yep, your energy. And if the law says the energy you put out, you get back. What about that bullshit energy you putting out while watching TV? You think that don't affect your life? It does. But the minute you get what I'm saying, it come to hypnotizing somebody to actually heal them, motherfuckers be like, I ain't let nobody into my shit, but you let niggas into your shit every fucking day. You just don't know it. Unconsciously, you yelling at the TV, you about to cry over an actor acting. Like, bruh, you know damn well Denzel ain't just die. You sitting there in the movie, like, they killed them. Like, nigga, Denzel somewhere chilling. Yo ass sitting here crying, looking crazier than a motherfucker. That's hypnosis at its finest. You don't have to be asleep to get put into hypnosis. All you got to do is be in a trance. That's it. Be in a trance state. And the trance state, you know you in it because all life outside of you just disappear. And the only thing that exists is what? What you're focused on. Focused. What your energy is directed to. What you're giving your energy to. And while we on this topic, I want to talk about the Epstein files for a second. Because the honest truth, man, we waking up so fast that it's scaring these motherfuckers. They don't want us conscious. Because the more you could see yourself, the more you could see they bullshit. The more you know your powers, the more you not gonna give your powers away. So now they want to put out these files. A lot of this shit is truth. A lot of that shit is 100% garbage, bullshit. But the whole thing is, if I could get enough people focused on garbage, what do you think we're creating? More fucking garbage. Because you watching it, yo, motherfucker, we eating babies, we this, we doing that, and you having these emotional reactions. If I could get enough people emotionally evolved in this shit, we're actually creating it. We're creating this shit. We're participating in that shit. By you emotionally reacting about eating babies ain't gonna make them not stop putting babies in the fucking food. So what your emotional reaction is about? You actually create it with your emotions. But the average person don't know their own powers. They don't know that they're creative. Even though the fucking Bible says it for the people that was Christians, you were made in God's likeliness, in his likeliness, and in his image. Say that. So you be like, what is God like? What is his likeliness? He's a creator. So that means you a creator, but you don't know how you create. You don't know how to create. So instead of being a creator, which you are, your soul is just, you're an infinite creator. Anything you put out, you get back. That's what makes you a creator. If you only put out abundant thoughts, guess what's going to show up in your life? Abundance. Have no fucking choice. And that's probably hard as hell for people to believe. Like, nah, it can't be that simple. It's that fucking simple. But the thing is, if you can't see yourself, you don't know what the fuck you putting out. So you be like, where my abundance at? I've been putting out abundance for the last week. Nigga, you've been conscious for 5 minutes saying a affirmation, I am abundant, for fucking 5 minutes, and then after that, you go back into your unconscious, and for the rest of the day, you feeling like the brokest nigga ever, and you think that you about to change your program with that? Just because you said some affirmations in the morning? Get the fuck, that ain't it. You got to change your vibrational frequency. You got to change the channel from poverty to abundance. And this is how you know when the channel is changed. Because life don't never just give you the shit. Life tests you first. So it say, all right, I see this motherfucker is really putting out a lot of abundance. So you know what I gotta do? I'm gonna take some shit. I'm gonna fuck the credit up. I'm gonna, and I'm gonna see if this motherfucker remain on that frequency. And what happens is usually when that happens, we get that bill in the mail, we see our credit drop, and we start giving all of the emotions of poverty, and the universe be like, I knew it. Your ass wasn't really ready for these abundance your ass say you ready for. And the thing is, like, we gotta actually be delusional. Like, nigga, you could look at your motherfucking account and see $45 in that bitch. You gotta look at that shit and be smiling like, damn, yeah. Yo, I really got 45 million. Like, yo, this shit crazy. Like, you gotta be delusional. And delusion is what breaks the illusion. And some people might, I ain't trying to be delusional, lying to myself. You lie to yourself anyway. You do it already. When something bad about to happen, you take your mind to the worst case scenario. You start feeling the shit, and you start, damn, I hope this don't happen. And then you be delusional as hell about some negative shit, and then when it play out, it never be what the fuck you thought. You was just delusional then. So why you can't be delusional towards the good? You get what I'm saying? And a person that you could look up that teaches this, that actually did it, was delusional than a motherfucker, broke it in a motherfucker, and became a superstar from being delusional. You can look up the story of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey tell a story about, he said when he was broken in the motherfucker, ain't had no house, he was in a hoopty. That motherfucker said he used to be driving to, I think he said my Howard Drive or some shit like that, because he always named the street. It's like somewhere in Hollywood. He said he'd be driving in his hoopty, waving at people, like, hey, like basically he waving at them as if like they like, oh, Jim Carrey, oh look, there go Jim Carrey. He like, hey, waving back and shit and driving. Motherfuckers don't even know who the fuck he is. They looking like, who the fuck this strange ass nigga waving at me? But in his mind, he a superstar and they waved at him first. Delusional. And then a motherfucker go on the to the top of the little mountain shit. He wrote himself a check for $10 million. The check ain't got no money in the bank though. So if he go try to cash this motherfucker, the shit gonna definitely bounce. But he wrote it just to look at it. And then he put for like actor services rendered. Basically like he got paid this money for acting. And he said he had that motherfucking check in his wallet and he'd just drive up there and he'd just be looking at the check like, yo, they fucking I got $10 million to do one movie, and he'd just feel the excitement from it and da 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 da. He said he was doing this shit. Yo, sometimes depending on who you are and the cycles that you breaking, sometimes that shit could take some time. And you can't be delusional and not walking towards your purpose though, because it's like you on the couch talking about I'm gonna be a millionaire. And you just on the couch, like get the fuck. You're not creating a channel for it to come through. You gotta. That's why it's a mental, emotional, physical thing. You gotta be taking some type of steps. So he was doing comedy clubs at the time, while he was delusional. You know what I mean? Just regular old on the stage, no a nobody. And he was doing that until somebody saw him and offer him a fucking role in Dumber Dumber. Or was it The Mask? I forgot. One of them movies, and guess how much they paid him? 10 fucking million. He was delusional until it became real. That's what the fuck we gotta do. And then once he got that movie and now he's an actor and then he on Living Color, then he on this, then he on that. Now he's a superstar. Everybody want him in a movie. But this shit started off from him being delusional. We gotta be fucking delusional. I ain't gonna lie, I be delusional. Like a motherfucker. I be fucking sitting there basically like I'm in the front of millions of people talking. And they all like, thank you. We needed this. We needed this. And I'm like, I'm about to hypnotize all y'all motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everybody wanting to be hypnotized by me, wanting to give me thousands of dollars and wanting to book me. I take my mind there. And I be smiling in real life while I'm doing it. Driving certain cars, the car I'm in right now, driving this shit, just imagining that this was my motherfucking Corvette that I know I'm gonna have. I mean, people looking at me, and when they looking at me, I'm looking at like, yo, they like my car. I ain't in no fucking Corvette, but my energy is. And once you understand where your energy is at, the body gotta follow. That's why it's called the law of attraction, not the law of go get it, motherfucker. It's called the law of attraction, and then they nickname it the law of love, just to let you know that nigga it's dealing with the heart. It's dealing with the heart. Say, could you share what I changed my diet to? Um, so right now I don't eat that same diet, but at the time when I had my awakening, I was just eating alkaline food. Like literally, I was just going off of the the list Dr. Sebi got. So if you like going um Google and you type in Dr. Sebi food list, it'll pop up. But it was a lot of stuff added to the list though. You know what I mean? And him himself used to be adding shit to the list. But a person that I would say to follow to know how to eat correctly and all of that shit is Yaki Awakening. He basically like the new Dr. Sebi. You know what I mean? But basically, Dr. Sebi just explained eat alkaline. And the word alkaline, all that mean is eat foods that come naturally from the earth. So you could kind of look into it. Like a carrot don't come from the earth. A fucking broccoli don't come from the earth. Um certain potatoes don't come from the earth. Like so you'll think that you're eating healthy, but you still eating acidic foods. You know what I mean? But right now I kind of I don't eat 100% alkaline. I won't sit here and lie to you at all. You know what I mean? I just eat more healthy than not. I even eat salmon sometimes. I eat fish sometimes. I eat seafood sometimes. But I would never disrespect my body with no red meat or with no pork. Now I understand the energy that's in this shit. And even with like red meat, I didn't even stop eating red meat because like, oh, I want to be healthy. Like, I started when I first started looking into like the rituals that's done on the meat. Because when we was in the dark age, when we was sleeping in a motherfucker, it ain't matter really what we ate because energy wasn't really alive. But now we're in an awakening state. We're in a spring, when energy is alive now. It's not the winter no more. The winter, everything is dead. You know what I mean? And that's why in the last 6,000 years, when it came to magic, when it came to connecting to self, it was fucking um almost impossible to do because we wasn't in the time of that. We were in the winter. So imagine it's winter time, and I'm telling you, like, yo, it's the seed. You could plant it, and when you plant it, it grow, and it'll turn into a tree. And you like, get the fuck out of here. Ain't no fucking little ass seed gonna turn into no tree. And then you like, show me. And I try to plant the seed in the wintertime. And you like, what's going on? Like, that shit ain't working. Sitting there. That's how we were. Trying to show people our energy and what we could do in the wintertime. And these white people looking at us like, man, that shit don't work. That's voodoo. Call on your ancestors. Make it work right now. And we try, it ain't working. We're not in that time no more. Now it's the spring. You could plant a seed and that motherfucker will grow. But if we talking about spiritual seeds, you know what I mean? So the energy is back now. So back before 2012, because that's when we came into the spring awakening. That's why everybody want to eat healthy. That's why everybody want to be conscious. That's why all this woke shit. That's why a person like me turned from a gangbanger to a conscious leader, because of the awakening happened. It's happening and it's still happening. So now what you eat matters. And I kind of saw like they basically like do a ritual on the cows. And um the the history that I did just looking into it, cows are the most emotional creatures there is. So what do that really fucking mean? They're the most emotional creatures. That's why they use bulls and they be doing all that, because a bull emotional. This nigga really mad. He ain't a little mad. He mad. And cows is the same way. A cow is a feminine bull. And they even kind of confuse us, like, with all of the foods we eat to separate the male from the female. We don't even eat male nothing. We don't eat bull. Bullshit. We don't eat bull at all. We only eat cow. Just like we only eat chicken. We don't eat, what's the fuck, the male chicken is like a rooster or some shit. I forgot what the fuck the male chicken is. But we don't eat the male. We only eat the female. That's intentionally, because why? Females are more emotional than men. We know that from humans. We deal with logic. Females deal with emotion. The animals is the same thing. So that's why they got us eating the cows instead of the bulls, because it's an emotional animal. So what they doing is, when they killing it, they literally take it and put it on the stage. It's literally like a stage. So all the other cows that's down, they could see the shit. They could looking like, yo, what the fuck going on? And then they use this machine to smash the cow head. They'll tell you that this machine is supposed to hold the cow head straight while they cut his throat. And it's like, yo, it's 2000 and fucking 20 million. Motherfucker, you still cutting the cow throat? We still killing it like back in the day on some barbarian shit? Like, the fuck we doing? So the whole thing is, once it squeezed the cow head, the cow start making all types of noise. Imagine a metal machine crushing your fucking brain. And you like making all of these noise, and the other cows is fucking looking. And they looking, and it's just to put intense fear into the other cows, looking like, oh shit. So when they get grabbed, they already know. If you was to kill a dog, fucking another dog is watching. The dog can see, like, oh, they killing motherfuckers. And you start trying to pull it to the dog and start fucking wilding because it know what the fuck you doing. You think a cow don't know? You get what I'm saying? So these cows could see this shit, and this whole thing is to put fear into the meat. So now they squeezing this shit, they cut the neck. Most of the time, they don't even cut the neck off. Like, kill the motherfucker. They'll cut it to where the cow is still like, and then they'll put this thing on a back leg and flip the cow upside down and like let the cow just like bleed out. So it's alive going through this shit, having intense fear. You know what I mean? And then it moves on the belt. You'll see them all. You could just look this shit up. You know what I mean? They move it on, then they get the next cow. And this is just a ritual to put intense fear in the cow. And if you was to go into the supermarket and you get your beef, and you was to take it to the lab and say, yo, I want you to check to see is this alive. Yes, it's alive. Because if it wasn't alive, it'd fucking smell like dead food. It'd be dead. We don't eat dead cow. We eat living meat. Dead flesh smell dead. You wouldn't eat no dead fucking cow. So the cells that's in this cow is alive. And these cells that's in the cow is full of fear. And then you thinking when you eat this shit, and then you having anxiety, and you like, where this shit come from? And you can't even pinpoint it because it ain't even yours. You just put that shit in you from fucking what you ate. And then you got to think about this. If you go back into the ancient the ancient spiritual systems, because we didn't have religion back then. If you go back to the ancient spiritual systems, you'll see that you had Hathor in Egypt, which was a cow deity that represented love, because they knew that cows is the most emotionalist feminine creature. So that's why the deities connected straight to the cow. If you was to see Isis. Isis is a Greek name, but her real name is Auset in ancient Kemet. You'll see that Auset is a cow. She's represented by a cow. You'll see that Osiris, that's a Greek name. His real name Asar. It's represented by a bull. And then you go into the Hindu traditions. Today they worship the fucking cow. Why you think the word holy cow comes from? It's fucking a holy animal. It's a sacred animal. Our ancestors knew this because of the vibrational frequency it gives. And then the highest feminine goddess in the Egyptian religion name was Mu. Like what a cow say, Mu. Because that Mu is a high vibration. That's one of the highest frequencies. When a cow right there saying like Mu, Mu, and you could like that shit changes your DNA. But when they crushing his head and it's like, that ain't Moo. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? So this shit is all done intentionally. You just gotta study what our ancestors studied. They never killed no motherfucking cow. And as Kadeen just wrote, yeah, it's spelled M-U. But the cow moo, it would say M-O-O. But it's talking about the same shit. That's that frequency that it give of love. That's why I connect directly to Hathor, which we could call Het Haru. All of this shit was cow deity shit. So why our ancestors worship the cow, and now we fucking put that bitch on the table every chance we get? I want a steak, and then I want some motherfucking sausages, some beef sausages, and yeah, there, give me a hot dog and a hamburger. Like all day you eating fucking cow. This was me, my sleep state. But once I started learning about like and getting downloads and shit, I'm like, oh nah, it's over. I would never eat a cow. I don't give a fuck who cooked it and how good it might taste. You can have that shit. Cause that shit ain't good for my soul. And this the thing, I don't want to be talking no fear manga shit either. Like we should fear they trying to kill us. Fuck them. They on their last motherfucking leg. Like, so they trying to do anything to keep us asleep. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't focus on what they trying to do. We should focus on what the fuck we trying to do. Because what you put your focus on, you give your attention. So even if you like, oh, I'm mad at them, they trying to kill us with cows and all of that, and you giving negative energy to that shit, you're attributing to this shit. That's why they always talk about a war on this, a war on that, a war on drugs. You don't fight drugs with a war on it. You fight drugs with fucking by helping people stay sober, motherfucker. Let's focus on soberness, motherfucker. That's what kills being on drugs. So we're not gonna focus on them trying to poison us. We're gonna focus on being healthy. We're gonna focus on learning about what you should eat, and make a habit out of this shit. Make a cycle out of it where it's just so normal to eat good that you don't know no other fucking way. You know what I mean? My daughter never ate meat or none of that shit ever in her life. She about to be 2 years old. Healthy than a motherfucker. She never got a shot. When she was born, I didn't let them cut her placenta. Fuck you trying to do? You know what I mean? That placenta is what gives the baby life. You gotta let that shit fall off. In the hospital, they gave me a hell of a run to try to cut it off, and then you look it up. They sell the placenta. They make pills out of this shit and sell it for $30,000. And we just be leaving that shit in the hospital like that shit ain't come out of you. Like that's your shit. They sell it to $30,000 because it got all the nutrition that your baby will need when it's first coming into to life. This is all the shit that make your baby not get sick and all of that shit. We don't need no shots. We just need that placenta to stay connected until that shit fall off. But as soon as the baby come out, the baby ain't even all the way out. They be cutting the umbilical cord. You like the fuck you just do that? And I had a situation where um it wasn't my baby. Somebody put a baby on me, but it wound up not being my baby. And this when I was asleep though. And I'm talking about soon as the baby came out, they cut the umbilical cord so fast that I'm like, who the fuck cut the umbilical cord? I was mad because being sleep and shit, we be taught that the father supposed to cut the umbilical cord. So I'm all waiting, like I'm gonna cut my baby umbilical cord. I ain't even see you with scissors. It's like that motherfucker had them shits under her motherfucking just plotting. Like what the fuck you? How did you even cut it that fast? Like I ain't even see you with no scissors. Like, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "I'm the father. I'm supposed to cut the umbilical cord." But they do that shit. They cut it so fast because they want to keep as much stem cells in the placenta. The more stem cells in it, the more nutrients is in it. The more these people that's trying to stay the fuck alive, old ass white motherfuckers and shit like that, they pay 30 bands for that shit. That shit is almost like a keep you keep you young type shit. And a lot of people don't even understand, man. You got millions and millions of motherfuckers having babies in hospitals and just leaving that shit like it's talking about that's afterbirth. Afterbirth my fucking ass. You know what I mean? That shit is is power. Bro. But before we get into, I'm gonna break down hypnosis because that's what we really supposed to be talking about. But all of this shit connect, man. This shit is really just about spreading knowledge and helping people see themselves and know who the fuck you are, to know who we are, so we can know our powers. You know what I mean? And when people see me hypnotizing people or see my videos, some people will see the videos and still would comment that shit fake. Like, who the fuck wanna be faking like they know how to hypnotize them? Like, who got time to be wasted on faking? Like, so that shit that just show you the mindset of people. Like, you can't believe what you see, but you will believe a fucking old ass book that's telling you a snake was talking to somebody. You could believe that shit though. You know what I mean? It's like the brainwashing that got done on our people. That shit is whoo. They did a deal on us, man. They did us dirty. But that's why I love coming up here, talking to people, giving people truth. And for the people that it's for, they gonna get it, man. It's gonna vibrate with their soul. You could feel truth. You don't gotta think it through and process it. You could just feel that shit. Like, damn, I felt that. You know what I mean? And you could tell when somebody sincere. Like, I ain't got no book or nothing. I'm peeking at. Like, this shit is all from straight experience. Like, and I had to change myself. I was a gangbanger. I was in the streets. I was lost. I was asleep. I was sleeping in a motherfucker. Yeah, I got a YouTube. My YouTube is self flexion, and I just posted a video on my YouTube too of talking about when I had an out of body experience and I went into the sun. I posted on my page too, but I only post snippets of it. But the whole beginning, when I'm talking about what actually led to it, that's only on YouTube. And it's basically when I had a Kundalini awakening. My back was wiggling, and it was like wiggling like a motherfucker, and that shit rose up into my brain. And yeah, it was a crazy situation where I actually went into the sun and was talking, having full dialogue with the sun. The sun is a living being, and that's why our ancestors connected to the sun. And when we really just think about it, when we just use our mind, man, it's not like we supposed to worship the sun. Oh, sun. Like, nah, the sun is us. We are light beings. You get what I'm saying? And that's really what it was like showing me. Like, and the sun sustains all life. Like, if there was no sun, if the sun ain't show up for one day, we'd fucking all panic. Everybody, and then that motherfucker come back. Everybody be on their knees, the sun worshipers. I'm like, you worshiping the sun? Hell yeah, that motherfucker was gone yesterday. I thought it was over. The motherfucking trees started dying and shit. Motherfucker, it wasn't even no oxygen. We was all about to die. You know what I mean? So it's not about like worshiping it, but it's about really like appreciating what it actually does. It gives life to everything. And you only eat fruit, vegetables, meat. You wouldn't even be eating cow if the cow ain't eat grass. So you're not eating the meat for the cow, you eating the meat for what it ate. You get what I'm saying? Like, stop using the middleman. Leave that fucking cow alone and go eat you some fucking grass. You know what I mean? But we gotta understand though, we only eating the foods to get the light out of it. That's it. If the food ain't have light in it, you wouldn't even call it food. So we actually eating the sun. And you shit everything else out and you keep only the light. And you call it energy. Like, you eating the fucking sun. Your phone right now is running off the sun. The sun is what heats up your house. It's what put lights on. Like, so it does so much for you. And then it's like, oh, don't worship the sun, you sun worshipers. Nigga, the sun did more for me than motherfucking Jesus or any of them made up motherfuckers ever did. And it's doing for me every single day. Like, it never stopped looking out for me. So you think that I'm not gonna give homage to the sun? And this is why in ancient religions, it wasn't that our ancestors were sun worshipers. Fuck, we not worshiping the sun. We just giving homage to what deserve it. But the fact that the sun come out every fucking day and give us life and light and energy and every fucking thing so freely, we don't appreciate it. We don't appreciate what just it always been giving it to us. So we just like let it not give us the shit. And the fact that we know that we can't survive without trees, trees can't survive without us, but neither me or the tree can't survive without the sun. So it's like, bruh, give respect when respect due. Like, as they say in the hood. That motherfucker balling, he doing his thing. Nigga, he feeding everybody. Respect that man. Like, make sure he good. And that's how our ancestors really understood the sun. Especially us being melanated people. You got to think about this. Everything that fucking operates in your life depends on the sun. This car, man, I had to fucking start the car. Why? My battery was dying. But what do the battery get his energy from? Solar panels. Where does solar panel get their energy from? The sun. The sun just helped this live stay on. If not, my phone would have died. We wouldn't even been talking. You know what I mean? So the sun, it works everything. Clipping yourself to look good, you need the sun. You need the light to cut on to do your hair, you need the sun. So you need the sun for everything. Even when you're using your rose for the ladies, using your that's sun energy too. So everything that we use the sun. But the minute that we put sun energy in our skin as melanated people and we use it, then oh, that's evil. That's voodoo. That's witchcraft. So why your phone not witchcraft? Your phone using the same shit I just used. Why your car not witchcraft? Why everything else that uses the sun energy is not considered witchcraft? But when I store energy in my motherfucker skin and I use it, you want to call it evil. You gotta make it make sense. And you gotta understand that everything that we do that carries power, they're gonna make it evil. The feminine energy, the heart ain't no masculine. The heart is feminine. Know that. The heart is creative. So if we gonna talk about a creator, it better be a she. Ain't no man ever had a baby in history of histories. Every person, rather you a male or a female, you came out a womb. And every energy, rather it's in the body or in the mind, it came from the heart. And even when we was when you was 2 weeks old in your mother womb and the doctor said you're pregnant, you would have asked the doctor, how do you know I'm pregnant? And they go say what? I could detect a motherfucking heartbeat. You don't even got a brain yet, but you got a heartbeat. So what created your brain? I dare you say your mother created your brain. I'll slap the, because your mother don't know how to make a brain. She don't know how to create a tumentary gland and a pineal gland and a thumb, all them damn other names that's in the brain, and how to fold it up like this and how to connect it to a spot. Your mother don't know how to do none of that. She don't even understand how it works. And the fact that it's being done in a certain way tells you that it's a mind behind it. Your brain ain't just been created from out of nothing, because we all had different fucking raggedy ass brains. But we all got brains that know how to compute to the best ability. That's better than any computer you could ever fucking build. And you try, it's something that did that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what? Who created the brain? The heart, the divine feminine, the only thing that could create that heartbeat. Boom, 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 sends out a vibration, and that vibration carries a template. It remembers what to do. Boom, boom, moving that water that way and that fluid that way. That's what it's doing. Creating, being creative. But the shit happens in the dark. You in the darkness of the womb. Just like a seed got to get planted in the dark. Just like when you healing, your scabs heal in the dark. Just like when you growing, you grow in the dark. All of the things that got to do with creation happens in the dark. But they say, oh, the dark is evil. Stay away from that darkness. Fuck are you talking about? The darkness is the feminine. But they try to make everything about the light because the light is the masculine. You could see with the brain. But when it comes to the heart, she's blindfolded. The lady of justice is blindfolded. But she's blindfolded with a fucking sword in her hand, which meaning that she got power, even though she can't see. That's what the heart is. Your subconscious is blind. If you feed poison to your heart will make a poison cycle. That motherfucker don't know. It's blind. That's why they said love is blind and it would take over your mind. Yeah, it would take over your mind. Shit is real. It's love is really blind. But it's blind because it's dark. You can't explain to me what an emotion look like. I need you to draw an emotion. Here, I'm gonna give you some pencil and paper. Draw that emotion. I never seen it. I just felt it. So all of the stuff that connects to the divine feminine was made evil during the dark age because the dark age was a masculine age. It was about get rid of the feminine, everything got to be masculine. It always was mother, father, child. They said, nah, get her up out of there. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You like, ain't no female? Nigga, if it wasn't no females in this world, we would all die and we'd be miserable as hell. Ain't nobody gonna be watching football if it ain't no females. We'd be sitting here like, what the fuck is the females at? The gay niggas won't even be happy because they won't even have nobody to fucking act like. Like, the fuck are you acting like? Mad as hell. So we got to understand that divine feminine, it got made evil on purpose. A witch, what do you think a witch was? A witch was the because when we lost contact with the feminine, the men lost it first because we logical anyway. So in the dark age, we lost it, and there was a lot of females that still had the sacred in them because you could hold that in you because you of it. And to the sleep people, they like, how are you a herbalist? Like, how do you know what herbs to put in to do this and that? And when as soon as she say, I could speak to nature, I just have an instant. I just up, oh, she got a demon in her. Cut her throat. Like what? That was the witch hunts. Shit wasn't about no fucking um evil people cooking babies and all of this shit. That was a fucking herbologist whipping them herbs, healing the nations. And then you see her with a broom because feminine energy, cleanliness, that disease live in filth. So they got her riding the broom, staring up this pot, all of the shit that was considered feminine. Now you got females, they don't even want to clean up. And it's like, bruh, cleaning up ain't because of like you a slave. Like that was a feminine thing. You know what I mean? Just being a female, you just want everything to be clean because that's feminine by nature. Niggas, we all fucking sloppy and spilling shit. Females is seeing everything. I mean, clean, staying broom, and sweeping every day. That's connecting to your divine feminine. But when you in a masculine energy, when you always, your guard up, your heart covered, like it's a lot of people that's dirty by default. Like, you know what I mean? You just got habits of not cleaning correctly and not, you know what I mean, growing up in a house where the sink got to be full of dishes before somebody wash it. It's like, why you don't just wash out everything you use and it'll never be dishes? Like, so some of us just was programmed wrong. You don't wait till the tub look dirty to clean the tub. You clean the tub every time you get in the motherfucking tub. You don't allow it to get dirty. We was programmed wrong. You get what I'm saying? You don't wait till the floor look dirty. If it look dirty, that means it's filthy. Fuck, you sweep every day the same way you wash your body every day. You don't wait till you see dirt on you, then be like, nah, I'm dirty. I see it. I smell it. You clean yourself if you don't smell it. And you're supposed to do the same thing with your floor. You're supposed to do the same thing with your dishes. You know what I mean? Cleanliness is godliness. But everything that connects to the female, they made evil purposely. Clue in 666. That's a sign of the divine feminine because the 666 is the carbon. The carbon is the darkness that light live in. That's why we're carbon-based beings. That's the feminine aspect of it. 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. Just like the 666 is cycle, it's numbers. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 7 plus 8 plus 9 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So our number system is 666. And that ain't all. Our time is 666 because everything got to move through time. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. 24, that's 6. 60, that's 6. 60, that's 6. 6. So it's like, why are you telling me this evil when this literally connects directly to the divine feminine? But if I could get you to believe that your powers is evil, guess what you ain't gonna have? You ain't gonna want nothing to do with your powers. This what the fuck this is what we dealing with. So this shit is about relearning. Relearning all of the bullshit that we was taught. And instead of going into these books, go into yourself. Connect to yourself. You got DNA that's in you That when you start unlocking it, every fucking answer you could possibly fucking think about is already in you. You already know everything you want to know. You just got to unlock it. It's in your body and you can't recall it because it's quote unquote junk. It's dormant. You ain't been using it for so long that it locked. And this is how you know that you could know something and not know something, right? I could ask you like, yo, what's such and such name that live over there on the fourth floor? And you like, damn, what's her name? And I'm like, Lisa. You like, no, it ain't Lisa. I'm like, Patrice. You like, no, it ain't no fucking Patrice. And it's like, if you don't, how the fuck you know it ain't Patrice or Lisa if you don't know it? And it's because you do know it. You just can't recall it. We got information that we already know. We just can't recall it because we got to unlock it. So this is where these downloads come from. It ain't coming from when I'm lighting my altar and I'm um opening these channels. I'm not opening no channels outside. I don't gotta go open the door for the shit to come in. I gotta open myself for the shit to come in. Cause I'm tapping into my DNA. I'm not tapping into no fucking outer space. And this is the part that they lied to us about. Our ancestors, we ain't pray to no fucking gods. There was no such thing as gods in ancient times. The Greeks made that up. Our ancestors called the gods the netters. And the netters, a netter is uh, a single energy. This energy is a netter. Then that other energy that's not that energy is a netter. But all of the netters was just a part of the netteru, which was the one. So when they said, "Oh, our ancestors, they worshiping idol worshiping all these many gods," no, it wasn't no fucking many gods. It was one God that had many attributes. Just like you one person, but you got many attributes. You ain't just got no one part of yourself. The divine is the same. As above, so below. But it's about opening yourself, opening the channels to yourself. So those deities, so those energies could express through you. And then when you practice an energy for long enough, you become what you practice. And a good example of that is like, let's say we're gonna call one of the deities patience. And I teach you about this deity named patience. And I teach you, like, yeah, if you have patience and you allow this deity to live within you named patience, um, you won't be stressed in traffic. You know, when kids getting on your nerves, it won't bother you. And you like, hell yeah, I want to call on that deity, looking at it on some deity shit, right? And you like, and then you start practicing it. Like, yo, but you call on it by practicing it. You know, in the time when you're in traffic, just take a deep breath and allow the patience to live within you, right? And then if you keep practicing on calling on that deity named patience, it's gonna be a day that's gonna come where you're not gonna have to practice it no more. You know why? Because you're gonna become a patient person. Anything you practice over and over, you become it. And this is why they say we became gods. It wasn't talking about you letting some shit in you and you all wiggling and you like, I let this. No, you just opened the channel for that deity to express through, and you became it. So if you become patient, if you open the channel up for love, if you open the channel up for abundance, if you open the channel up for power, but once you open all of these channels to the higher aspects of self, then you could say you're a living God. Because those deities are living through you as you, and you are them. This is what our ancient ancestors taught. It ain't teach no pray to these deities and you calling on fucking Mayat like it's a person outside of you. No, Mayat mean practice balance, practice harmony within yourself. When you see your thoughts fighting your body, you harmonize it. And the more you practice Mayat, you become Mayat. You start living in truth. And it automatically makes your heart lighter. And this is where your heart being balanced by feather. Because once you practice being balanced, nothing bothers you. Because I'm not balanced mean I'm not looking at bad and good. I'm looking at the middle. So if it's no bad and no good, there's no fight. And once there's no fights within you, you got harmony. When you got harmony, you got balance. Your mind is on the same page as your body. Nobody fighting. And this is what gives you power. This is what Mayat stands for. It ain't no fucking lady in the sky with a fucking feather in her head waiting for you to call her name. Like, it ain't that. It's the energy that's that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that our ancestors didn't become a living example of that. So, of course, we did have an ancestor that name was Mayat that was so balanced that they named the fucking energy after her. Just like you had Tahuti, which they called Thoth. It was an actual real person that was a teacher, and he had so much knowledge that they named knowledge after him. He's the recorder because he records everything. That's the subconscious. But if you see Tahuti, they try to tell you that he's not a person because they don't want us worshiping the fucking person like we worshiping Jesus instead of what Jesus actually taught. That's when you get lost. That's why they made him as a bird face. So like you ain't don't worship no person. And Haru got a bird face, Asar got a bird. All of these got bird faces because it's telling you it's an energy, not a fucking person. And then you'll see Tahuti, even though he's masculine, most of them, the masculine got bird faces because it deals with flight, it deals with mind. While the feminine entities deal with heart, it deals with dark. But you'll see Tahuti connects to the moon, which showing you even though he's a masculine figure, he could connect to the feminine. Just like you see Mayat, she's a feminine, but she got wings, which show you she got flight. She could still enter the mind. That's what this shit was talking about. Even talking about Isis or Osset. She represented the subconscious. She is the divine feminine. That's why they say she birthed all. Like how she give birth to everything? Because the subconscious is what everything got birth from. But then they say, oh, she's veiled. Nobody could see her. You be like, what the fuck? So she been walking around her whole life and nobody could see her? Don't that sound like your emotions? So this we got to understand that our ancestors was talking about how we work and was using gods and deities to explain. So that's why when you read the the mythology, it's talking about the mind. It ain't talking about no fucking people from the old ancient times. And that's why people go to college and get a master's in mythology. Like, yo, you just went and got a master in fake stories. I'll slap your ass silly. Because they understand it's not fake stories. And then you'll see that when you see this mythology and this mythology and this they all really telling the same fucking story, just using different names. Because they all talking about the operation of the mind. And the operation of the mind never changes. So just as it stood in old times, it stood today. Asar. Asar represented the oneness that was in the mind. Consciousness started off as one. And then Asar got chopped up by his twin brother, which is talking about Set, which became the devil, Satan. But Set represents the ego. The ego is the false self. It's the individual. The reason why you say, I'm this person, my name Naeem, I'm African American, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. All of them is programs that's within my ego. I'm not none of that shit. That's all my limited shit. That's all the programming that I got while in this physical body. But who I am as oneness, as spirit, that's Asar. But it's Set, my ego, that chops mine up. So in this story, it's talking about that. But some people will read it like, oh shit. And then it starts off like the reason Set chopped up Asar was because Asar slept with his wife. And when you hear that, you like, man, fuck Asar. My brother sleep with my wife, I'll chop his ass up too. Faggot nigga. It make you not even want to be on Asar's side. Because it sounds like some bullshit. Why would you sleep with your brother wife? And then it say that his brother wife is his wife's sister. And you like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? But if you really understand, that's talking about the mind. Of course, the mind slept with Asar's wife. Who's Asar's wife? It's feelings. And no, Set wife is feelings. Because Set deals with the ego. The ego deals with the physical body. When emotion goes into the physical body, it turns into a feeling. So that's why that's his wife. But Asar wife or Set or Isis is emotion, the eternal. That's why they twin sisters. All of this shit is talking about how we work. And when you initiate, when you got initiated into the mysteries, you get this part of the story where it all makes sense. Like, damn, this shit ain't talking about no stories. It's talking about you. And then you get to understand how you work. Because after Asar got chopped up, the story goes on that his wife, the one got all of the pieces, and this was the first mummification. They put him back together. Because when it comes to you having an awakening, it's your heart that creates the awakening. It's your heart that gathers all of the broken pieces of yourself and put it back together. And then they say it was one piece missing, which was the phallus. Everybody would say, oh, that was his dick. But in the ancient teachings, they say that the females was a Asar. So females don't got no dick. What are we talking about here? And if Asar is the mind, that means it's talking about the pineal gland. The part that gives the mind consciousness. That's what was missing. We lost our consciousness. So that's why Haru represent consciousness. He got to fight the ego and reclaim the state. There's a whole story about you. You're in a sleep state. You believe you're your programs. Your programs is running your motherfucking life. And the only thing that could wake you up out of your programs is your conscious mind. Asar. Haru. That's his real name. Haru, which they call Horus. He represents consciousness. And then the Coptic people came into Egypt, learned these stories, learned these mysteries, and made their own versions out of the shit. This is what Christianity started at, with Serapis. So Christ became Haru, but Haru fighting Satan. All of this shit is talking about your conscious mind fighting your unconscious cycles. But through consciousness is the only way back to God. Through Jesus is the only way back to God. But you really waiting for a person to come when you are the person. Like I could go deep and deep, and a lot of this, the mysteries came to me through downloads. My ancestors was ancient Egyptians. This shit is in me. And we came from Egypt when Egypt started falling. We came here to America. This was one of our colonies. Because when Atlantis fell, the Atlanteans came to Egypt. And Americas was a part of the Atlantean colonies. And the Emerald Tablets teach you this. If you ever get the Emerald Tablets is Egyptian teachings. But guess where they was found at? In Mexico. Right over there where the pyramids is at. This all us. It's our shit. And then in the Emerald Tablets, it literally tell you that the priesthood came from Egypt and they came over here and conquered the fuck is the people name that was in America? I forgot the not the Aztecs. What's the ones that got the big ass head statues over there in Mexico? They conquered them first. And then they conquered the Yucatans. And that's where the Emerald Tablets was found at. All of this shit is in the Emerald Tablets. It's tell you that. People came from Egypt and was over here before Christopher Columbus came over here. But that's because Egypt fell. And they was like, the pharaohs is evil and all of that shit made it into the Bible. We wrote that shit too. The pharaohs became evil. But it wasn't talking about our ancient ancestors. The fucking new pharaoh was a Greek nigga named Serapis. Serapis Christus. Motherfucker was evil as hell. And his real name was Ptolemy Soter. And he became like the savior to the white people, to the Greeks. And right now, if you was to look up, you know Christianity is all based on having a savior. The whole religion lives on that. And it's a study of that. But guess what's the study called? The study of Christianity's savior. Guess what it's called? Soterology. They literally named the shit after Ptolemy Soter. And we that fucking stupid that we can't connect the fucking dots. When you look up pictures of Serapis, you literally see pictures of Jesus. Like literally. When you look up what was the first Christians, what was Serapis followers called? They were called Christians. And then I'm gonna break this down to y'all real fast because this shit is important. Around the time when Serapis became a god, when he forced himself to become a god, basically he was killing the priesthoods. He like, I'm gonna keep killing y'all motherfuckers till somebody make me into a pharaoh. A pharaoh is a awake king. And they like, yo, bro, you can't be a pharaoh. You could be a king. You could rule over us, but you can't be a pharaoh. You're not awakened. He like, bitch, I'll cut your fucking head off. Say that again. And then there was a priesthood in Memphis that made him into a pharaoh, which you can't even be a pharaoh, bro. You don't even have God DNA in you. Like, you got to be an awakened God. So that's why they called them God kings. Because once you wake your chakras up, God can live in you. So our pharaohs was actually God kings. He want to be this and like, yo, bro, you can't be it. You know what I mean? So when he forced them to make him a god, we understood that everything connects to the cosmos. As above, so below, as within, so without. So because everything connects to the cosmos, the energies of the cosmos really rule us. That's why we was in a dark age for the last 6,000 years because of some sky shit. We didn't choose to be asleep. Like, you know what? Yeah, let's go to sleep for a minute. Let's just, let the white people take over. And nah, motherfucker, we had no choice. That's the energy we was in. And our ancestors understood that. And they called those energies gods. So you had outside gods and inside gods. So when Serapis was ruling, they told him that basically, well, when his name was Ptolemy Soter, they told him, you got to name yourself in power. And at the time, we was in a sign of Taurus. Taurus the bull. So he named himself in power. Serapis, if you could look this up too, not all this shit is shit you can fact check. Serapis' name comes from two names, Osiris and Apis. Apis is the bull aspect of Osiris. Osiris is the Egyptian god Asar. So he named himself as a bull because that's the energy we was in. We was in Taurus. And we was in that energy for 2,000 years. And then we moved from that energy and we moved into Aries. This is where the Jews came from. That's why Christianity connect directly to the Jews. And this is when the Jews was in power. They was learning the Kabbalah. That's all ancient Egyptian teachings. So they started learning that. And this is why the Jews now got them little two curly shit. That's the ram horns. This is why when they start their ceremonies, they blow into a ram horn. This is why that whole shit, lamb and a ram and all of that shit got connected to God through this constellation. They understood that. That's the power that was there. So then 2,000 more years went by, and then by this time, the Roman Catholic Church, they took over. And you had this ruler, this guy named Constantine. And he was sending out these missionaries, what they call Templar Knights, these missionaries to kill off everybody that got the information. Go to Egypt, burn down the Library of Alexander. First, take everything that's valuable, bring it here to the Vatican. And they was just going all around the world. Basically, they was like, yo, we about to fucking basically make one religion. Because everybody that's connected to Christ consciousness, we about to make it our religion. So the only way to connect to Christ consciousness is through us. Anybody that got information on it, kill their ass. This how this nigga was coming. And then he had all of the other Christians, the people that was repping Serapis, the people that was the Jews, all of these, they were Christians. He was basically said, look, all y'all got to come to this meeting. And this meeting was called the Council of Nicaea. And in this meeting, this is where he basically made up, they had to come up with a name. They had to come up with a new deity. They like, yo, we're not in Aries no more. Now we're in the sign of Pisces. So we got a new God. This is where Jesus came in at. Jesus fed all these people with 2 fish. What fish? How fucking big was these fish? You fed 1,000,000 people with 2 fish. Like, what, everybody got a crumb apiece? But they not talking about actually feeding you fish. They talking about Pisces. Pisces is the energy that's feeding all of these people. And the ruler, we're going to call him Jesus. The name literally came from the gods that they already was praying to. The the um the Romans had, their spiritual system was the Olympians. This is why we got the Olympians now. We fucking sitting here running and jumping and doing all this goofy shit. And this is they fucking old deities. And from the Olympians, they god name was Zeus. But then they merged in with the Greeks. The Greeks gods was Jupiter. This shit you can look up. And then they put that together. Jupiter and Zeus. Jesus. So you actually praying to their ancestors every time you call. And then they say you gotta say it in his name. The fuck? You literally praying to their ancestors. And that's why in the Bible, Jesus befriend the fisherman and all of this shit. And then they hint this shit to you, because in the Bible, when the disciples asked Jesus, when you're gone, how do we know who to follow? You know what the hell he said? Follow the man with the pitcher of water. He literally told you follow Aquarius. That's the next sign. That's the sign we're in now. And that's why Aquarius is the sign of information. All that bullshit getting, that shit coming to the surface. We ain't stupid no more. We ain't believing the lies no more. And it's so hard for a lot of people to let go of the lies, because if you practice patience, you become patient. It become a part of who you are. So if you practice the lies of Christianity for so long, you don't want to let it go even when you hear truth, because you feel violated. Like, you feel like somebody talking against you. And that's why they say truth hurt. Nah, truth only hurt a liar. Truth don't hurt to motherfuckers that ain't lying to themselves. All of this shit is about the constellations and how it relate to us and how we relate to the world. This is our real powers. And this shit is coming back. We remembering who the fuck we are.